answer is D, within the best interests of the organisation as a whole. And the most interesting example you can give of this is something that's probably a little bit unrelated to non-profits, but it's the James Hardie case. So you may remember James Hardie made some products that had asbestos, yes, made a lot of people sick. What they did was they then decided, okay, well, we're going to fund the compensation, and we're going to put that money over here in this separate company. And then they managed through a couple of legal manoeuvres to sever the liability. So now, all the money that's left is in here, and it was woefully underfunded. So there wasn't enough money. But now there's no liability back to James Hardie. And the chairman, Meredith Hellicar, at the time said, well, you've got to understand, right? We're in this fiduciary relationship to the shareholders to maximise shareholder value. We have to do everything we legally can to maximise shareholder value, because that's our fiduciary duty. That was the argument, in which a lot of people would kind of go, you know, and that's kind of answer C, best interests of the membership, or for a non-profit, maybe best interests of clients, etc. The mission they're actually trying to do. Then step back and go, the courts found they had, I think it was the Royal Commission who said, you know what, they did do everything that they did was legal. There's nothing illegal in what they did. And the federal government then set up a couple of inquiries. They set up a parliamentary federal joint commission and the Corporates and Markets Advisory Committee looked at this. They said, if this is true, we might need to change the law. If you have to do this. And they looked at it and they said, actually, no, this isn't true. Okay, you don't have to. What you have to do is you have to take the interests of the organisation as a whole as the basis for your decision making. Practically, most of the time, that will be the interests of your shareholders or members. But you are allowed to allow the interests of stakeholders into your decision frame set. And provided there is a logical reason as to why that's good for the organisation. And for James Hardie, you could argue it's good for their reputation, etc. Provided there's a logical reason there, you can take the interests of stakeholders into account. You don't owe them a positive duty. They can't sue you if you don't take them into account. But you can take them into account. And so it's broader than just members or shareholders or clients. It's the group of stakeholders that would benefit the organisation. Does that make sense? What I think is really powerful about that is it allows you, gets you away from this, just looking after what the members want, or just what you can make broader-based, logical, ethical decisions as a board, and the law will back you up around that.
So in that situation, the customers review the stakeholders?
Yes. Yes, they certainly could, and it was particularly more than what they're saying. You know, the argument you could make in James Hardie is it's good for our reputation, and you just need to look, for instance, at Tylenol and their handling of the tampering of their headache tablets, the tampering that occurred, how they handled that boosted their reputation and made the company much stronger and much more competitive, even though there was a short-term loss. So the issue is about the long-term health of your organisation as part of what you do. Okay, and I think we handle that here. The point we're really trying to bring out to is organisations. Sometimes in organisations, the constitution is written that you are elected by a group of members, etc. Okay, that's great. There's obviously a reason you have that constitution. It's probably to get the views of the different stakeholding groups onto the board table so you know how to do that. And you've got to respect your constitution. So putting the views forward on the board table, I don't see anything wrong with that. There's nothing legally wrong with that. However, it becomes different once you actually make a decision. When you make a decision, you have to act in the interests of the organisation as a whole, even if the people who elected you might not be happy with it. So that's part of the challenge of being in this fiduciary relationship with the organisation